having us.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, so I'm Sanam Solati Yurczyk. I am the broker owner of New England Prestige Realty, which is based in Glastonbury, and we service the entire state. I've been in the business my entire life. I actually started in 1996, and so this is all that I know.
So what do you do here?
Yeah, so we help clients transition in and out of homes where it makes sense, right? So if a house is too big or too small, we just help them right size. So general real estate is what we specialize in.
So what are you seeing in the market today?
Yeah, so now the post-COVID market has been a very hot market. And it's funny because on the news you hear that everything is flying off the shelves and, you know, most homes see multiple offers, but now we're kind of, I want to call it a little bit of a complex market because there's so many moving parts and it can be a little fast-paced for some people. It's still a very strong market, and, you know, with relations to the seller standpoint. I think we were speaking earlier, I had mentioned, you know, in Glastonbury, now we're hovering around 30 homes for sale. And over the past month or so, it's been between like 25 and 35-ish. You know, inventory comes on the market and it gets scooped up. But in a healthy market, we would see like about 120 homes for sale. You know, Glastonbury has a population of just under 35,000 people. And when I'm throwing numbers out, like maybe 30 homes are on the market, that starter price points to high-end luxury and everything in between. So there's not a lot of options for buyers when they're looking to buy. So if a seller is positioned well, they're able to kind of capture the best of what the market has, because it's all about supply and demand. And what we do is, you know, with the senior population specifically, we work with them because sometimes we'll get phone calls and people are really not looking to make a move for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but they want to understand what the process is. What we found is a lot of the homes, like where we do have seniors, you know, the homes are well maintained, but maybe from a cosmetic standpoint, they may look like it did when they bought the home. And, you know, even though it has solid bones, if they're willing to maybe take a couple of extra steps to try to maximize their returns, we can help them with that. If they're not interested, because that can also be overwhelming, we can help them with that too. But basically, we come together, we're a team, and we strategize on, okay, if this is where you are now, and this is where you want to go, here are the next steps we're going to take. And part of that, believe it or not, is, you know, if you've been in your home for 20 plus years, making a change is really hard. It's very emotional.
So what are some community activities you participate here in Glastonbury?
Yeah, so we're pretty involved with the community. We are proud members of the Connecticut River Valley Chamber. We typically host community events around Easter time. We have photos with the Easter Bunny. We used to actually put on big community Easter egg hunts. And, you know, anything that we can get involved with our town to help give back, we're involved with it. So
awesome. So how do seniors or anyone get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can call me, text me. You know, our website is newenglandprestigerealty.com. My phone number, I have a 203 number. I'm from the New Haven area originally, but it's at 203-627-7958. So I'm also working with a local attorney here in Glastonbury who specializes in elder law, estate planning, and real estate. So we're like the perfect match. And we're going to be working on an educational series that we're hoping to launch with the Senior Center, which is right across the street from my office.
Oh, so what will you be presenting on?
So we're going to be talking about estate planning, tax laws, things you might want to consider, things you definitely don't want to do, like switching your house to your child's name right before, like, you know, if things are looking like they're going south, just things to kind of keep you out of trouble, keep you on the right path. And again, really the bottom line is we want to make the process easy for our clients and to help maximize their returns.
Now, what are the program in front of you?
Yeah, so I have a little flyer that I give to my seniors especially, and it's basically our 5-step seamless process. the first time, like we meet, it's literally just a consultation to kind of meet with them, get to know them, kind of understand where they are in the process. You know, most sellers will meet with multiple realtors, and that's a great thing because not everyone is the right match for them. And then we talk about getting organized. You know, again, I had mentioned earlier, some people might want to do some stuff. For example, if you have gleaming hardwood floors under green carpet, but the green carpet has served you well, I have connections where I might say it might make sense for us to rip out those carpets to showcase hardwood floors because that's what consumers are looking for. But again, it's kind of getting organized, figuring out your level of tolerance, because again, I have clients that are like, Sanam, I don't want to lift a finger. I want this off of my shoulders and that's it. And so my job is to make sure we don't stress them out, but also while looking out for their pocket. So getting organized. And then the third thing is to take inventory. So a lot of the senior population that we help with, they're typically downsizing. So when we're talking about maybe staging the property or not, you know, we talk about what is it that you're going to need to take with you to your next destination. And the things that you don't need. We work with a number of different companies. Some people, they come and they have auctions, and they'll get rid of stuff for clients that don't need this stuff. And there's different programs where you can pay in advance, or you can pay with the proceeds. Like, there's different programs, and we try to work with everybody at their need level. And then the fourth thing is obviously just like preparing the home. So we, like at New England Prestige Realty, we will come in again, we'll do semi-staging, but then to market the home, right? So we do professional photography, we do professional videography, we promote it on all the social sites. But more importantly than everything that we do to kind of market it is the relationships that we make a priority to build with other realtors. Because when we receive offers, whether it's 1 or 10, or it doesn't even matter, I want to be able to come to my sellers and say, hey, listen, all these offers at surface level might look good, but here's my concerns with this, and here's the benefits of this, and together we help guide them to make a good decision, working with the realtors on the other side of the table. Most of my relationships, a lot of my friends are now realtors, because there's that professional, that level of professionalism where we know that by working together, we are going to get from here to here. You know, there's no ego. It's basically what is best for our client and how can we help them get there. So, and then basically just getting the home sold and helping them, again, transition into whatever their next location is going to be, right sizing them.
So can you give me an example of a recent client that you might have had that maybe had some challenges or not, or, you know, just some recent?
Yeah. You know, we recently had a closing where the listing was under a trust, right? And so typically when a listing is under a trust, you don't have to go through probate or anything like that. Moving is a big deal, right? There's so many moving parts of buyers coordinating their move-in. Maybe they've locked in their interest rate. Well, they have locked in their interest rate. The seller is coordinating their move. At the onset of the transaction, we learned through the attorneys, because some things are only discovered through the attorneys, we learned that, so the seller, one of the parties is still alive. Unfortunately, his wife had passed, and again, it was a trust. So I guess 20 or 30 years ago when they created trusts, like the next person in line was the lien holder or the bank, which that's not the way trusts are written in today's day and age. And so the trustee, basically representing her interests, was the bank. Not a big deal. House is under contract. The attorneys submit everything for the bank to sign off on everything. And it was going to be a short turnaround, like a 3-week turnaround or something like that. And it had to get escalated up to their headquarters. And they responded with, oh, I'm sorry, the deal is too small. We're not going to sign off on this. Yeah. So again, like me and the other realtor, we had a really great working relationship. Our attorneys had a great working relationship together. We all pulled together as a team. The paralegal on the seller side happened to know the probate judge, because the case had to then get taken to the probate judge, not to be seen, like we didn't need a hearing, but basically the new trustee, like the signer, had to be assigned, and that could have taken, if there were no connections in place, it could have taken 2 weeks to a month. Luckily, because we all worked together and pulled together, all with the same interest in mind, and the paralegal really came through on this one. She was able to get the attorney to sign off on it, and we delayed closing by maybe 2 days as opposed to weeks. And by doing that, it helped save the seller money and the buyer money, A, from a moving standpoint, B, from a rate lock standpoint from the buyer. Again, it's a domino effect, and having really good people in place that know how to field the buyers is what's going to make or break the transaction, and just to help make it as seamless as possible. Because real estate is not just like you get from here to here and it's easy peasy. There's a lot of this. And so our jobs is to make you as the consumer not feel all of this. We field it all so that it's an easy process, or as easy as it can be for you. So that's just one example.
So where are you finding people are wanting to move to? A lot of your seniors, where are they?
So we've had some people move to the Carolinas. And actually, they've made it sound so appealing. I want to go to the Carolinas. And then we have some people that have moved into assisted living communities in and nearby the surrounding areas. So I've had some people downsize. The challenge with that right now, typically the senior population like to downsize into one-level living. And because inventory is so tight across the board, like those 2-bedroom ranches or 3-bedroom ranches where typically we wouldn't see everybody coming out of the woodworks to bid on. Now my first-time home buyers are bidding on it. So they're competing with the senior population, where again, when there was a lot of inventory, the buyers had more choices, and maybe the ranch wasn't the first go-to because they didn't need one floor living. Now people just need a house. So it's challenging, and that's when the active adult communities seem to be really helpful. But the active adult condos and homes in those communities typically fly off the shelves too.
Are you hearing a lot of concerns from seniors that they're requesting some guidance from you?
They absolutely are, because again, nobody should ever do this alone, whether it's myself or anybody else. I don't care, as long as they're good for you. You need to have a professional, especially in this environment. I mean, we've even worked with we've seen sellers that try to list on their own for sale by owner, because again, you hear on the media that homes are just flying off the shelf. So as a seller, and I can appreciate that, if it's just going to sell anyway, why do I need to hire somebody and pay them, X percent? It's a big number. But the reality is, a good seasoned agent who knows what they're doing is going to help get you to the closing table, because we've helped so many people who've also tried to do it on their own. And, you need to have an attorney involved. And so then they're paying their attorney hourly. And when the deal falls apart or it gets egregious, emotions get involved. So many things can happen where really, you should have some sort of mediator who knows what they're doing. And a good realtor is exactly what that's going to be for you. Again, whether it's me or anybody else, you should interview and see who fits your bill. Oftentimes, with our senior population, when they are looking to make a move, it's kind of a family affair. And so, with regards to financial details and those things, I'm not at liberty to have those conversations with children of my clients unless my client puts it in writing that I'm able to have those open conversations. And usually everybody kind of works together nicely. Sometimes kids can be a little overzealous, but really I think it's all about education, right? So if they're prepared, if they're learning about what it is that we're doing to help guide them, and even from a pricing strategy, how to prep the home, price the home, get it sold, I think as a family, when everybody's involved and everybody's on the same page, it's just easier. So we welcome children of our seniors, because they can oftentimes be like a big advocate too. I was lucky enough to work with an amazing woman here in Glastonbury, and she was in her late 90s. And it was just so much fun working with her. We had stagers come in, clean out the house, stage the house, and I actually stayed in touch with her for a few years. She has since passed. But her son, who I adore, I actually never met him. He lives in Arizona, but he won't fly. But we talk on a semi-regular basis, and honestly, like for me, the biggest thank you I can get is a referral, and the fact that they're just so supportive of me speaks to my heart, and I'm so appreciative. So I love all my clients. I let people know that like in this industry, like it's my own business, so I can pick and choose who I want to work with, and I love working with people who really like need my help and see the value in my help. And most of my clients, I'm lucky enough to become their friends. So all I want to say is that if you have any questions about real estate in general, nothing is too big, nothing is too small where I can't help you. And if I don't have the right answers to point you in the right directions, I'm sure I have a connection that I can put you in touch with that can help. So again, anything in the real estate arena, I'm happy to help you with.